Welcome to USMLE SARTI. We are committed to empowering IMGs. We're excited to guide you on your match journey. Don't forget to click subscribe and turn on notifications so you can get notified whenever we add new content. Also, follow us on Instagram and Twitter for the latest tips and tricks regarding everything USMLE. Now, let's dive into it.
All right, let's get started. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the special webinar by USMLE Sarthi. My name is Pawan Khera and I'm the director here. And in today's webinar, you will hear from several speakers, including our first speaker who's going to kick us off, Dr. Richard Stewart. He's the program director of a family medicine residency program in New York. And the overall agenda for the session is, getting started with this season now that we know the ERAS submission date, all the timelines are out. So how do we get started? How do we pick the right specialty? What all do you need to be able to match in this season? Or if you're preparing for the next season, what all should you be planning? You will also hear from several of the Sarthi math students. One of them is already here, Dr. Mehakpreet Singh. Ayesha has just joined, but in the spirit of getting the things going, I'll first give it to Dr. Richard Stewart. You can ask your questions in the chat. So my team is there as well. So we'll help you with that. And then without further ado, let's get started. So it's my pleasure to welcome Dr. Richard Stewart. He's been helping our students for several years now, in terms of getting them ready for match, rotations, didactic sessions, so on and so forth. So welcome, Dr. Richard Stewart. Very, very glad that you could make it today despite your hectic schedule. Let me get started and ask you a couple of questions that we are getting from the students. So what do program directors look for as they are reviewing the application? So what do you look for in an applicant?
Well, thank you for the invitation to join today. It's really hard to just give a consensus answer of what everyone is looking for, but I think that stand out are, does the applicant, do they feel like they would mesh well with the current group of residents that are already at the institution? That's going to be one of the big things that they're looking for. And also, is the applicant truly interested in the specialty? And what I mean by that is a lot of times we see applications and we can tell that the applicant is applying to multiple specialties. In this current state that we're in, there's always a concern of if an applicant is going to move on from the specialty after joining. So we are really looking for applicants that are going to stay in the specialty for the long haul.
Okay, so just to recap what you said, obviously fit with the specialty, or you want to make sure that the applicant is truly committed to the specialty, because sometimes it is obvious that the applicant may be applying to multiple specialties. So as you are reviewing the fit, is it the relevant US clinical experience you look for? Is it the relevant volunteering? What do you look for when you are looking for that commitment to the specialty?
So in that regards, if you put 10 different program directors in the room and ask them the same question, you're probably going to get 10 different answers. And I will say that's even true. Everybody is looking at something very unique, and I like that everybody has a different lens when they're looking at things, because you don't want to be pigeonholed into looking for one cookie cutter mold of an applicant. So some people will look at whether you had a number of clinical experiences within family medicine. Others will look at to see if you had clinical experience in a diverse grouping of specialties, because family medicine is very broad, and we want to know that you have experiences in a number of different fields. Uh, some people will look at, well, what did the recommendation letters writers say? Then others will like, well, what were their test scores looking like? It's so diverse in what people are looking for. It's really hard to just to say what's the one best thing. You really have to have a complete application
Mm-hmm.
in order to be the best, to be an ideal candidate.
Okay. Um, let's dive a bit deeper into what you just said. Part of it is reading or assessing through the letters of recommendation. So, how important are these letters, and what are you trying to infer as you read these letters?
So for me, I don't look at the letters.
Okay.
I pretty much assume that if you have a recommendation letter in the file, you're asking someone that is going to speak highly of you. And because of that, I don't pay much attention to the letters. I know that I do have people on my committee that feel very differently, and they think it is a big deal, and they look at who wrote the letter,
Mhm.
what kind of interaction did the person have with the letter writer? Did they really know them, or is it a generic letter? Um, it really goes into, like, every program director, or when you put 10 people into a room, you're going to get a bunch of varying viewpoints of how important each component of that application is. I think that's a good thing, because that way we're not saying, if you do this, you are going to have a spot, because we know everybody doesn't come in with the same qualifications. And so that way, everyone does have a fair chance of actually securing a residency spot, because people are going to be looking at throughout the process.
Okay. Uh, Now, when it comes to, a lot of students have asked this question, and thank you. I know you're driving, so I appreciate it. In general, I mean, your program or other programs, uh, you are receiving thousands and thousands of applications each program. So is the first cut just based on certain criteria and filtering out, or how do you actually shortlist, or in general, how do programs shortlist the applicants? Is it just a filter you put in, you meaning all programs, or is it something else?
So for my program, there are 4 individuals that are trying to weed out applications. I don't do it uniform. I don't do it by myself, because there's so many. Last year we had about 1,700 applications. So it's very good in my program that all 4 of us are actually looking at different criteria. Um, so we each will go through our criteria and separate. I know the most common criteria that people will use are board scores, time from graduation. Those are the most common. Um, but aside from that, we can also look at from geographical areas in which you come, or geographical ties that you have to the area, because there have been people that have been looking at um, applicants that have matched into programs, and more recently it's been more apparent that applicants usually have ties to the area of your program. So that is something that's a newer trend that programs are looking at to see if you have any ties to the area, because residency is stressful. So when you're going through these stressful times, do you have someone nearby that you can lean on and account on to help you get you through these next 3 to 5 years, depending on your specialty?
Okay, so program signaling or geographical choices, USMLE scores, and years of graduation, I think is what you said, are some of the criteria which most programs use. I know you have to leave, so I'll quickly switch gears and ask about the interviews. So now most interviews are virtual, after COVID. So when during the interview, it's a virtual interview, maybe a candidate is interviewing with 2, 3 faculties, so 20 minutes, 30 minutes. What are you looking for in a virtual interview as you interact or your team interacts with the program, with the applicants?
Well, so believe it or not, my program does not do the virtual method. We still have in-person
Ah,
interviews.
I
Uh,
see.
but even with other program directors I communicate with on a regular basis, the one thing everyone should know, if you are offered an interview, you are already on that short list of being offered a spot in their program. They're not going to interview you if they do not already feel like that are a good fit for the program. So now it is your opportunity to really sell yourself to the program. And what I mean by that is, um, really don't hold back. Tell the program who you are, what your interests are, and how this program will benefit you in getting you to your professional goals. Ideally, when you go into an interview, whether it be in person or virtual, you will already know, you would have done research and you know about the program. The one thing that my residents take part in the interview process as well. And one of the things my residents get frustrated with is when applicants start asking questions about information that is already posted online. They feel
Mm,
like that you did not do your research and you're not really enthusiastic about the interview opportunity that you have. So make sure that you do your research about the program. You already have a good chance of getting into the program because you are invited for that interview, and sell yourself. Be enthusiastic, ask pertinent, relevant questions that's not posted anywhere else, um, and enjoy the time. But most importantly, be yourself. Don't try to portray an image of a person that's truly not who you are. We are trying to see who you are because the real goal is to see if you will mesh with the residents that we already have in the program.
yeah. Well, thank you, Dr. Stewart. Much appreciate your time. I know you are very busy, so thank you for spending some time with us in
Of
guiding
course.
the prospective students. And those of you who are interested, Dr. Stewart does offer didactic sessions for our students. So, Antara or Asifa, can you post the link for that virtual didactic tele-rotations that he offers? So that will be helpful to everyone. But thank you, Dr. Stewart. Appreciate your time.
Thank you for giving me a chance to speak, and to all the students, best of luck as you go through this cycle. I wish nothing but good things for you, and I'm sure you're going to accomplish your goals.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on. I do want to share the timeline. I know, our students Mehakpreet Singh and Aisha are waiting, but I think it is a good idea to share the timeline for the current math season so that all of us are on the same page, especially, very important for those of you who are applying this season. And, there will be a lot of questions and I will go through them as well. Let me see. Okay. So June 24th is when the current season ERAS tokens will become available for IMGs. This is when you can buy it. You can start working on your ERAS CVPS, uploading the documents. So make sure you remember this date. There will be confusion, but September 3rd is when you can actually start submitting the applications applying to the program. Okay, but programs will not have access to your application till September 24th, 9 a.m. Eastern. And I get this question all the time. Should I apply on September 3rd or anytime between September 3rd and 24th? The answer is, around maybe 21st, 22nd is a good idea. Don't leave it to September 24th, but don't rush to apply on September 3rd. Many of you will be finishing up your rotations, maybe getting your documents, getting an LOR. So September 24th or 23rd will be very safe to do it. Programs will not be able to access it before September 24th, 9 a.m. And it's all going to be time-stamped as the day one, right? So don't worry about it. For those of you who will, most of you will go into the match. September 15th is when the NRMP opens, but you don't have to register for NRMP on September 15th. That, you can do later. Then, of course, late September through early Feb, I would guess, is the interview season. Most programs will interview during this time. So that's the time frame for you're getting the interviews, doing outreach, and all of that. The rank order list entry opens Feb 2nd, so you'll have about a month to submit your rank order list. March 4, 2026 is the deadline for rank order list submission. And your final results, the D-Day is March 17 next year, March 17, 2026. For those of you going into the match this season, will know on this day if you matched or not. You don't know the name of the program, you don't know the specialty. If you have applied to multiple specialties, you just know whether you applied or not, or whether you matched or not. And then for those of you who don't match, there are a couple of days of SOAP, so Supplemental Offer and Acceptance Program. It's kind of a scramble from olden days where unfilled programs interview students who have not matched, and many students can match in SOAP as well. So the end of the season is March 21. Officially, this is the Friday when you actually know the program, details of the program where you match. So remember, this is very important. The first is June 24th, go ERAS applications. And then we'll go into details of, starting your personal statement, building your ERAS CV, securing the letters, very important, and so on and so forth. So I will probably get into the details of this in the webinar later today as you guys have questions, but I don't want you to, stop interacting with our panel. So I think the first is that Mehakpreet Singh. Are you first or is it Aisha? I think one of you is there. So who wants to go first? I mean, if someone has to leave, you can definitely go first. Okay, Mehak, I think Aditi is telling me it's you. So I'll give it to you, Aisha, if you don't mind waiting for a few minutes. Thank you. So Mehak, congratulations once again. And, why don't you share your pearls of wisdom?
Sure. Hi, everyone. So as Dr. Pavan has already introduced me, myself, Mehak, and I just matched into my dream program, UAB Family Medicine, and I have some, slides to reflect what my information is, so that I can, guide you better, everyone. So it is gonna be just a brief moment, and I'll share the slides right away. Hope I'm clearly audible to everyone.
Yes, you are. Try sharing the slides if you can.
Sure. Are the slides visible to everyone?
Yes.
Sure. Thank you. So basically, my approach would be to reinvent yourself and to rebrand yourself, because this entire process is not just a small application process where you just fill in the details and you apply to certain programs. That's basically the entire profile. Your entire profile, your persona should be visible in your documents that you have. And I have certain pearls to first of all reflect about myself, and then I can guide you everyone further. So my journey was over 2 years. I started in 2023, and that match cycle was fortunately not that productive for me, but it was really, really insightful and a learning opportunity for me, because it was the moment where I got the chance to rebrand myself, to look into my own self, that where exactly am I lacking, and what exactly I need to rebrand and refurbish myself. So regarding that, I would really, really first of all uh, like to tell everyone that there are two different pathways here. Somebody would say that you should apply for multiple specialties, and the other theory is that a single applicant or a single specialty should be applied. And the pathway that I chose for myself, and I highly recommend it, is to just focus solely on one specialty. And in my case, that was family medicine. And by the term focus, I really mean that your rotations, the volunteering opportunities that you get your hands across, and the research papers, the research poster presentations that you come across really should be tied in certain way, in one way or the other, to the specialty that you are aiming to. And USMLE SRT does a great job in this, because the rotations that they offer are specialty wise. The mentors that you come across, Dr. Pavan himself and the other mentors, really, really are specialty subjective, and they can guide you like very, very precisely regarding this pathway. And after the focus, after you are done deciding that you are going to apply to one specialty or multiple specialties, I would like to highlight that you should also focus on building a social media profile and a social media image about yourself. From the social media image, I really mean that the devices and the platforms like LinkedIn, Facebook, and wherever your social media profile is, it should be reflected. It should be reflecting your true personality. Like in my case, family medicine. Family medicine is very big on volunteering opportunities. It's very big on the community outreach that you do, because a lot of different family medicine positions, programs in the US are in a very remote location, and they focus heavily on the community outreach. And so, whichever camps, whichever volunteering opportunities you get your hands across, you should not shy away from reflecting them on your social media. And LinkedIn does a perfect job in that. So, I personally, for myself, I started from scratch. I tried to get my hands across different camps, wherever I got a chance to meet the community, to meet a rural population, and wherever I try to bridge the gap between the rural and the urban area, I made sure that each of the effort I reflected on my social media, so that the people, the selecting community, can really get their hands on that what exactly is this person about, and how passionate this person is about the specialty that they have chosen. And after that, the another big incremental milestone in my journey was the AAFP conference, the American Academy of Family Physicians, because that conference was the place where my virtual information really came across, and I was able to meet a lot of people from the specialty. I was able to see that what exactly the specialty is about. It's a conference where a lot of programs, more than 300 programs, especially only family medicine, they come, they get to see what kind of applicants there are, and in turn, the applicants also can see what exactly each program is about. What I did during my time was to just do a brief homework about a program, whenever I try to approach them, and so that they can know that I am really passionate about that program. And I've made sure that I have 2 or 3 questions ready for each program whenever go to their individual stalls, and so that we can interact in a productive manner. And I would like to encourage attending the conferences, not just the AAFP. There is FMX, and there are a lot of different conferences which are out there, and you should definitely go and make your outreach there. And regarding that too, there are 2 different pathways. Some people chose quality over quantity, and the other people chose that we should be targeting more programs in a limited period of time. Either is fine, but for myself, I chose limited programs so that I can make my outreach very specific, very oriented, and so that could also ultimately lead me to an interview spot with them. And after that, another thing that was really, really helpful for myself, and another thing that could not be possible without Sarthi was the document engineering. That's my term that I coined for this, because each of the draft that you make is, I would say, is a milestone towards the ultimate destination. For my PS, for my CV, at least I made 25 to 30 drafts. There was a cycle. I used to pool in my thoughts. Then I got it verified from my seniors, especially Mr. Pavan and especially the other mentors of Sarthi, and also my med school seniors. And this was a cycle which would go on and on and on till the penultimate or the ultimate draft was made. And that really, really was reflected in my interviews, because a lot of program directors and a lot of faculty members, they said that your effort is really, really reflected in your document. So I would like to encourage each one of you to do this, and Sati is a great tool for that. Apart from that, another myth or or bubble that I would like to break here is artificial intelligence. So I would firmly advise that you should take help of the artificial intelligence tools. They are for your help, but you should be very careful that first of all your own effort should be there. The thoughts and the ideas should be your own, your personal, and they can be very well reformed by the tools like everyone knows how many artificial intelligence tools are out there. So you should not shy away from using that, but you should definitely put in your own effort and your own thoughts first before that. And so I would not waste a lot of time for other people. Just my key takeaways would be my own personal opinion is to commit deeply to one specialty, because it's going to be the specialty for the rest of your life. And you should be definitely striving all the efforts towards that one goal. But no harm against multiple specialties. I would definitely advise strongly against one specialty. And moreover, mentorship really, really matters. And either your med school seniors or your professors, or even people like Pavan sir here and different mentors of USMLE Sarthi, they really, really were incremental in my process. And the last but not the least would be the conferences. Please attend the conferences, and so that you can get out in the field and communicate and contact the programs where you actually might end up. So that's precisely my points.
Thank you. This is very, very helpful, Mehak. Much appreciated. And by the way, for those of you interested, we have detailed classes on all aspects, even which conferences to attend. So Aditi, maybe you can post the link, or Antara, you can post the link to those classes, as well as whether you should apply to multiple specialties, single specialty. I see a lot of questions, whether to focus on one versus the other, how to balance it. So we have classes on all of this, and I do see Dr. Rua Al-Tarifi, former program director at Corewell Health. Dr. Rua, do you mind waiting a couple of minutes? I have a speaker already scheduled, so I'll introduce you in detail after that. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Dr. Aisha Firdaus. She was a Sarthi student, matched in internal medicine, And, she is also here to share some tips. Before I do that, I do want to ask you to post questions here. All of us, including Dr. Altarifi, may answer it. So I'm taking one of those questions before I give it to her. What can you change in the ERAS application once you sign and submit? Unfortunately, you cannot change much other than your demographic, the phone number, email, and I guess the temporary or the current address. You cannot change anything. So it is very important to spend a lot of time on your ERAS application. And that's something we do as part of our classes. So maybe Aditi or Antara can share that page on how we go details on the ERAS and personal statement. So pretty much you cannot change much in the ERAS application. Does the program director know whether we apply to more than one specialty? So the program director cannot know which programs you apply to, which specialty you apply to, but how they can infer it from your ERAS CV. Let's table this question to Dr. Altarifi when she comes in, because sometimes it's very, very clear. With the recent visa changes or the visa pause and the Harvard issue, I have heard about students who matched but were detained at the time of interview. I don't think that has happened for residency, but we do have a webinar next weekend where we will invite legal attorneys, so the law firms that work with us, to go over this visa issue. It's a hot issue, and I don't want to misspeak. So we will have experts to talk about the visa issue. So don't worry about it. Okay. So we will have a webinar next Sunday on this 8th of June. All right. With that said, let me bring in Dr. Aisha Firdos, and then we'll take questions later on. So keep posting the questions. But Aisha, over to you.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much, Pawan, for this opportunity. I'm really grateful. So, a brief introduction about myself. I'm Aisha. I'm from actually Maharashtra, a small town in Maharashtra, and I did my medical school from Dr. PDMMC Amravati. So, I am stating all these facts because I didn't have any alumni or any connections in United States before I started my USMLE journey. And most of my information did come from USMLE Sarthi webinars and programs, which I used to watch before I was part of it as well. So I matched in internal medicine program at University of Tennessee, Memphis. And when I was going through this journey, starting from the top, there are a lot of aspects to USMLE. Like people think when you go through one part of the process is done, which is not true. You have to work at multiple things at one time. There are multiple things going on, and the important aspects which I want to discuss about this whole journey and applying to different specialities is about the timeline. As Pawan told us, the timeline, which is very, very important when you're going through this journey. You have to know the perfect dates. When are you going to submit your application? Because whether it's your personal statement or your ERAS CV, it has to go through multiple people, your mentors, through USMLE Sati as well. Because a lot of times we are not aware what is actually needs to be changed. So this is something you need to be aware about. So let's just start with the timeline. Everyone here should be very well aware about that. And the other things for the strategic preparation, the things which are very important. Let's start with the basic stuff. As Dr. Richard rightly said, the year of graduation, the LORs, and your scores. These are the basic filters when they actually start reviewing your application. The first filter, I think, I'm not sure about this, but I think the chief residents are the one who are going through different applications of program coordinators. So these are the basic filters they start with, and then your application forward. And it is because it's not possible for them to go through each and every application, as like one of my program coordinators said, there were 5,000 applications. So I think it would be crazy for them to go through each one of those, and they definitely use some filters. And then after doing those applications, the now talking about the main topic, like applying to multiple specialties, there are pros and cons to it. When you're applying, for example, if you're applying to internal medicine, family medicine, I've seen people who have applied to pediatrics as well. You can definitely do that, but as you have to tailor your application accordingly, your personal statement needs to be changed accordingly, because every interview I went through, I felt that they just want to know, are you really committed to that particular specialty? That is, I think, the most important thing. Whether you're interviewing your program director or chief resident, that's the, I think that is the main question they want. They have there on your mind, and they want to know how committed you are to that specialty. Because one of the interview, the program director said to me that we can teach you how to work, and we are here to teach you. We just want to know, are you committed to it? Because residency stuff, so if someone who's very passionate about this field would be able to go through this 3 to 5 years of residency. So that is something which is very important. So people who are thinking about applying to multiple specialty, I think you should be, then I think you should be prepared for the things you have to do beforehand, like two different personal statements. The LORs should be dedicated to that particular specialty. And even for interview preparation, you should be really aware about what you're saying, be very cognizant, because one of my friend who went to apply to different specialty, I think she confused, she was interviewing for family medicine, and she said something which is very much related to internal medicine. So even interview preparation is a very important part of this whole journey, because I understand people get tired up to the interview process, and they don't give much attention to it. But I believe after all these things, interview is something which is very important, and you need to focus on, and Sarthi does a great job in it. Because one of the things which I love about it, after the interview session is done, they give you marks accordingly, and also tell you at each place what are the things you need to change about yourself. And one of the things which I really love about this whole process is that the fact that they put timelines. They put kind, not restriction, but timelines. Up to this date you should be already done with your one mock interview. Doesn't matter if you have an interview or not, you should be done with that. So when it's already done, you know how it really feels, because the panelists, the people sitting there, are the people the same with same qualifications who are going to interview you. So when you start preparing for those, that is something which is very important. And I'm sorry I didn't prepare a slide particularly, but
Don't worry
there
about
are
it.
2 to 3 points.
Yeah, don't worry, don't worry.
So, and the second thing which I want to talk about, the letters of recommendation. Letters of recommendation, I believe, are the most important part, because one of the session which I was interviewing is the PD said that, oh, your LORs are pretty good. So I believe they go through your letters of recommendation diligently. They read each and every word of it, and it was an in-person interview, so he already had printed out my application. So I so yes, they go through it, and getting a good letter of recommendation, I believe, requires a strong commitment from your side. You have to, like, basic stuff like show on time, be respectful, try to learn the culture. We come from India or any other country, the system is bit different. But I believe that US has treated me pretty well.
Okay, I think, Aisha, are you still there?
Be committed to the recommendation. So this is something which I want to put out there, and it's very important. Second thing I want to talk about is applying to different programs. So this is a funny thing. When I was applying to different programs, I talked to Pawan. It was very confusing for me, because the signaling was something which was pretty new, and I was getting confused whether to apply to how many programs. And Pawan guided me that for IMGs, applying to around 200 programs is important, because even with geographical preference, you have to keep every your options open. The new programs, applying to new programs, these are the places which actually are looking for IMGs, and many of the new programs are also very much interested to know you. The in-person interview is I understand a bit long and expensive, but I believe that was one of the best experiences I had. It was wonderful to interact with each and every one of them. And I think they know you in and out and in person because you're physically there, and they go a bit longer. That's what I feel as compared to virtual interviews, because we had almost a 30-minute session with each of the interviewer. So because one of the person asked like how difficult is in-person interview, it's not difficult, but it's a bit longer. They interact you with a law for a longer time. And last thing I think I want to talk about is every interviewer or every program, as Dr. Richard rightly said, and I was also watching many videos of Dr. Rua, and it was very beneficial. I'm so thankful to you. I am actually follow you as well. So it's important. They are just looking for a person who are able to fit in their program. So be yourself, be who you are, be someone who is interested to learn, who is very dedicated to his field, because I think our field is all about passion. So if you're passionate enough, that is the only thing they're looking for, and you'll definitely match into a group program. So that's it. If you have any question, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Aisha. Appreciate your time. And of course, your passion and commitment is for all to see. So thank you. And of course, congratulations on making it to the residency. And hopefully I'll be able to see you face to face when you come here. But thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's move on. And I do see some questions on the chat. And I think this is a good segue to Dr. Rua Al-Tarifi, former program director at Corwell Health, also known as Beaumont. We haven't caught up in a while. So Dr. Al-Tarifi, welcome very much. And you've been helping our students for several years now, including, as part of the rotations, interview preparation, and also. So Aditi or Asifa, just post the link for her rotations as well in case students are interested. But Dr. Al-Tarifi, give us a bit of a background on your journey as an IMG. You've been an IMG, and what challenges you yourself face, seen other IMGs face, and then I think we dive deep into some of the questions. How do you assess if they are applying to multiple specialties? What do you look for in an application? So on and so forth. But, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much. So thank you, first of all, for having me here. Yes, it's been a long time. We didn't chat. Good to see you, and good to see all the people who are applying. So the journey. So I always pride myself that, I'm an IMG myself, so I walk your walk. I understand how tough and difficult it is, and it is getting tougher every day. Now with visa issues and all these things, it's becoming more challenging, but the path is still clear. The path is still clear, and with, you guys all have Mr. Sarthi's guidance. If you follow the steps, it's doable. It's very doable. So I'm originally from Sudan. My background, I'm from Sudan. I'm IMG, did my medical school in Sudan. And I came in, I faced all the challenges that you guys face too, finding rotations, letters of recommendations that speak to who I am. You all hear about all these letters of recommendations that are copy and paste and not personalized. So when we talk about letters of recommendations, that's the part that I emphasize, is making sure that your letter is personalized to you and it's not a copy paste, because the program, all programs get multiple letters of recommendations from the same writer. So you can see how it can be very easy for any program to go and pull up Aisha's letter of recommendation and compare it to Mike's letters of recommendation, and they see it's exact same letter. So make sure your writer is a person who's going to personalize your letters for you and your experiences. We have letters where we might, the program director might ask you, say, hey, your writer wrote, oh, you presented a very good case in a diabetic patient. Can you tell me about that story? And when that story is true, that's how an interview goes well, right? So, and I know I'm putting the segue of an IMG pathway and the challenges that you guys face. So finding rotations that will your benefit and will help guide you into having a great step ahead of others when you match, because you will match. So those are the biggest challenges I personally faced. The last challenge was interview. We come from different culture, different backgrounds, right? So I've never had an interview before coming to residency interview. I didn't have to interview for anything before. So knowing how to interview, knowing the culture, knowing how to fit in and how to answer. Well, we come from different walks of life. So that's also a whole different ball that as an IMG you need to master and be prepared for. So I faced all of these. Luckily, I finished all my steps, applied for an interview, and I applied late. I applied late for personal reasons. I had to go and help my sister and so on. So that goes into applying on time, especially that is getting more and more competitive. So I applied late and I got only 4 interviews. So at that time, people were getting 20 and 30 interviews. So 4 interviews, I know nowadays 4 sounds like a great number nowadays, but I had only 4 interviews that were in person. And I went and I did well on the interviews, and specifically the place that I wanted to match. And I think I'm not going to repeat the story. If you go back to the videos I had with Mr. Pwan, that interview specifically resonated with me because I was myself. You're remembering now, that's why you're laughing, right? So I really was myself, and I did something that, was unheard of, but I was brave to tell the program director back then. I fell, and he said, "Do you need a doctor?" And I said, "I won't need a lawyer if you give me a position here." And he just laughed and kind of got to my personality, and that comes to be yourself. Show them your personality. Don't be shy of showing them that you have a personality that will mesh well with people and so on. And that comes in interview preparation. So, and I matched. I got into residency where I fell and did not, have problems. And I was hired right away into faculty position, promoted to associate program director. So I was faculty and program director for over 12 years. I'm a medical educator by heart. And now I'm moving on the lines of still wanting to teach students and residents, but getting out of corporate America into my private clinic.
So thank you for that background information, sharing your experiences. Now let's dive a bit deeper into what you have seen over the years. So one of the very obvious questions that I'm seeing in the chat is, what do program directors look for in the application? And related, how do you find out if they are applying to multiple specialties?
Yeah, so first, if every program has their own criteria, their wants and fits. So if you're in a big, for example, university academic program, they're looking for somebody who already has background in research, and most programs are looking for somebody who's going to fit in and they don't need to handhold a lot. If you're in a community program, they're looking more for a personality that is going to fit with the residency program, with the patient population in that area, and so on. So, and that's why I always just say, find your fit. I mean, don't apply to a big academic university program if you have zero research, if you didn't do any of that. Or work toward that if that's what you want to do. So every program has its criteria. Now, to the question of, does a program director or faculty know that you apply to multiple specialties or not? There is no way unless it's within the same program. So sometimes I might get a call from the program director of family medicine. And they will say, we have this person who applied and we're thinking they might have applied here and there. Did they apply to you? They might ask that question, but the program has no right. It's against the rules for them to ask you, where else have you applied? they cannot ask you that. If you made a mistake, I will say this part. If you made a mistake in your application, this is how I might get a glimpse of something. So sometimes you as an applicant might make a mistake, and in your application, and some people want to personalize their personal statement, and they will say, and that is why I'm applying for your family medicine program. I'm internal medicine. So now that's where I get a glimpse of, this person is applying here and there. So then I might say, okay, so I randomly might ask, oh, so you're applying for family medicine and internal medicine. As an interviewer, I am able to ask it that way, and how you answer actually is what's going to get you in good side or not. So you might be honest and say, yes, I am applying to family medicine, internal medicine, because I want to be a primary care physician at the end. But if you lie to me, then actually you're in more trouble because you're not honest there. So be careful.
So my question was, let's say, ERAS limits you to 10 experiences.
Yes.
Now, and as a program director, when you see 3 experiences, maybe in neurology, 2 experience in psychiatry, 3 in IM, then, you would be fair in assuming that the person is applying to multiple specialties. That's what,
Yes.
And then in that case, because a lot of students do that, how can they show a commitment when they come to an interview with you, I'm committed to internal medicine?
Yes. So, there are things that are still considered within line. So if that, when they limited the 10 experiences, it made it more challenging for you to show. So if I see 5 experiences of surgery, for example, that's not within the line of internal medicine. That's a separate thing. But, neurology, psych, because those are still, we still treat depression, anxiety, and psych within internal medicine. You can still say, that those were your rotations that you were able to explore and show, as long as there's still 3-4 of internal medicine rotations. But if there's nothing in internal medicine, it's all neuro and psych, it's a very clear thing for me. This person is applying to neurology or psych. And internal medicine is their backup. So just make sure, and this goes into when you're doing your application, it aligns with the specialty you're applying to. If there's a lot of peds, that's a red flag. You might be asked. The program director or faculty has the right to ask you why am I seeing a lot of peds rotations here? So just make sure your application aligns with the specialty.
Yeah. Now let's dive a bit deeper into rotations. And I have 2 questions that students are asking us. What should I do in rotations that will prepare me well for, getting my application selected and then in the interview? So that's one question. And second, I think related is, how do you, as part of your rotations, help the students get to that, preparation level?
Okay. So when you're doing a rotation, you want to stand out because you want to be rememberable, especially if the rotation has a lot of students among you. So because when a letter, when the attending at the end is writing a letter, you want them to remember you as who you were, and that will reflect on your letter of recommendation. When I meet with the student, so I just had a student start with me yesterday. I told her from the first day, okay, these are what I'm expecting from you. Your letter is performance-based, so you show me your strength. That way you get a strong letter of recommendation. I give them the expectations, coming on time and so on. I give little homework. So those are little things that you can show up with. So if you saw a patient with diabetes today, go and read today about diabetes. So tomorrow when you see diabetes again, you show your attending that, oh, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm motivated to learn and so on. So show your strength, during your rotation. That way it reflects on your letter of recommendation. If you don't know what's expected from you, from your attending that you're rotating with, ask them and say, you know, what are the expectations from me? But I will say there are basic expectations, right? Showing up on time, be vocal, don't be shy. We come from a culture that, you know, we don't want to show off, but we think of it as, you know, being respectful. But show off, you know the answer, explain what you know, show off what you know, and so on. And then learn from to show the person, because we don't expect a student to know everything. We just want you to show that what you saw yesterday, now you're learning and growing from it. So you might say, yeah, Dr. Altarifi, yesterday we saw the patient who had diabetes and we started her on this GLP-1 medication. Is it appropriate for this patient now that we start her on a GLP? I will be like, okay, you got it. Bingo, there you go. That is the right answer there. There are other tele-rotations. I know, like, you know, that now with visa restrictions and so on, and I don't know what's going to be happening there. And I know you have a webinar that's going to be about that. If you have restrictions for visas and you're going to be doing tele-rotations and so on, that's where you have to be vocal. You have to show that I'm participating. So if it's lectures, if you got homework that you're going to be presenting, so that's one of the ones I do. So I give assignments with questions that you go and you dig, you look into literature and you come in and you answer. Show me that you did the work. But if you come and you answer in 2 lines and that's it, I know that you're a person that's not motivated to go further, to take a step extra. So those are the expectations within rotations to get a strong letter of recommendation.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Last question before we let you go is, a lot of our students have older YOGs, so 5-year plus. What can they do to make themselves attractive to the programs and convince them that, you know, they are ready to start the residency? So older YOG issues.
So step 3 is important, because step 3 is about management. So when you take step 3, and especially if you had all these years to do some, so it doesn't make any sense that you're out more than 5 years and you didn't finish step 3. Research and then US clinical experience. Because why do programs, I mean, it answers itself. Why do programs worry about old IMGs? They just worry that they won't be teachable, that they won't be able to learn new tricks and learn to practice in the US. So if you have US clinical experience with great letters of recommendations and you took your step 3, you shouldn't worry. It's more difficult, but I'm still telling you, you still can match, as long as the attending that you worked with advocated for you on the letter of recommendations or went beyond that and said, you know, this is a great candidate. And we have those stories. You have those stories. You know, these things happen. So don't worry. It's still doable.
Well, thank you, Dr. Altarifi, for taking time out on a Saturday. I know you're outside, so thank you very much. We will be in touch. And again, Asifa, if you can post Dr. Rua's rotations, I think that'll be very, very valuable for the students, both tele and on-site. So again, tele rotations are very valuable if you cannot travel. So thank you, Dr. Altarifi, and we'll be in touch for subsequent webinars as well.
Thank you very much. Have a good day, everybody.
Thank you. All right, let's move on. We will have other speakers. I think they are running a bit late, but I did want to take this time to go back to, you know, the timeline and some of the things that you can do. So let me just share my screen just to, you know, because I'm getting a lot of questions on our plans as well. So first, of course, this is on our website. So all the students, you know, the match results page. So take a look. There are all these interviews that you will see from our students, you know. So low score, old YOG. If you click on this, you will be able to see less interviews. So all of this will take you to their experiences. I think that is something that will be very, very useful to you. So take a look and get some tips from there. Then if you look at our match plans, because this is again, I'm getting, I'm probably applying next season. What can I do? Can you help me at this point? So there is something called a flexible match plan. If you go to Residency Match 2026, on the bottom, you will see flexible residency match plan. Antara, maybe you can post a link. So even if you are confused on this season, there are visa issues, things like that, or you know that you are going to apply next season, go to this plan. This will give you everything you need for your preparation, for your roadmap, live classes, meetings with me, every kind of plan. And then, when you apply next year, you just pay the balance. So it gets you started on rotations, research, planning, those kind of things. So that is something that you should look at. A lot of you have had questions on visa. How do rotations support the visa letter and all that? So there is all the rotations that we have, 300 plus, are also on our website. So take a look. And there are sections on visa letter here, what visa letter we can provide. So again, this is directly on our website under clinical rotations. We have inpatient rotations, we have outpatient rotations, tele-rotations. So all of it you can see, and Asifa can post the direct link also for all those 300 rotations. How exactly do we do our match plans? What Aisha and Mehakpreet spoke about, mock interviews, one-on-one meetings, all of that you can see as part of our plan. So this is platinum. So you can see the physician mentor one-on-one guidance with me, classes, all the classes. How do we review ERAS CV, personal statement, a very detailed program list, very important, which programs to apply to, all of that, interview preparation that many of our students find very useful. There is in fact a closed Telegram group also. So we do answer, this is the SARPI community. So all the questions that you have, our own panelists answer those questions. So those were some of the things I wanted to make you aware. And then, of course, if you are not a Sarthi student, there is an open Sarthi Telegram group that will also be managed by our mentors, our panelists. So to start with, you should join the open group. So as Aisha, I think, has just, Antara has posted, we are starting monitoring that from Monday. And Dr. Brinda Desai, who recently matched our student, she will answer questions on this Telegram group. So join the link that Antara has just put in. It's completely free, and you can get answers from our match student. And I think someone is asking link for rotation for Dr. Rua Al-Tarifi. So Antara or Asifa, post that link. Let me now take questions as I'm waiting for some of the other speakers. So if you want to post questions now, I am going to be reading those. But let me see what other questions I can see. What about 2 internal medicine and 1 general surgery LOR? Is it a red flag? So now this goes back to what type of LOR should you be using. So ideally, each LOR, when you apply to a specialty, say internal medicine, all 3 LORs should be internal medicine related. This is the ideal scenario. And I have a detailed class on LOR. So probably Aditi, you can post the link to that class as well. But 1 general surgery LOR, depending on, maybe it was an elective, that could be okay. But try to get specialty specific LORs. How valuable is a tele-rotation? Is that considered a USCE? Yes, absolutely. And there are different types of tele-rotation. So there are tele-rotations when they could give you access to EMR, maybe some patient interaction, that level, but you have to be available from 8 to 5 Eastern time. Then there are didactics related LOR, tele-rotation that Dr. Stewart does. So there are different types of tele-rotations, and believe me, just like in COVID, tele-rotations are still very, very valuable. And given the visa issues, a lot of programs do understand your inability to travel. Each year, we have students who have matched with tele-rotations, and maybe Antara or Sejal or someone, you can post the links to those videos where our students have spoken about matching with only tele-rotations. Okay. Is it too late to apply for observership for this year cycle? Number one, you should not try observership. You should try hands-on, especially if you are an older graduate. There are many states, New York, New Jersey, Texas, Michigan, Illinois, that do allow hands-on. So that's always a good idea, even if you're a graduate. And no, it's not too late. You absolutely, we have 4 months. There are a lot of rotation, at least that we have, that you can try, and Antara on our team or others can help you with that. So can you please put the Telegram link again? So open Telegram group, Antara just put the open Telegram link. Closed Telegram link, of course, is only for our students. So, but open, anyone can join. Is there a resource for getting list of programs for IM or FM which accept more than 5 years? So we will have another webinar, like we have webinars on all aspects. When it comes to program selection, right? If you're looking for outside Sarthi, Frida is there, Residency Explorer is there. You can always go there and see what they have. A lot of programs do not mention the year of graduation, some do. Sarthi, we do work, our students have access to the program list, which we will make available. We are updating it. So by next month, we'll make it available, updated for this season. And our program list is, very comprehensive. It also has comments from our students. You will also see when our student interviewed at a program, so say Dr. Stewart's program or Corwell or whatever program, you will see their profile. So you can assess, say UConn or whichever program you are interviewing, what is the profile of the Sarthi students who interviewed in that program, year of graduation, etc. So if you join Sarthi, you will have access to that list also. I have done payment on Friday for hands-on experience, but not verified it yet. Is there any reason? So Ajay Shah is asking, so Asifa, you have to, so Ajay, you can, PM me directly or, send us an email. Asifa is there and she'll take a look. Sometimes, it's a Friday, you applied on Friday, today is Saturday. So she's chatting with you. So share your email ID with her and she'll be able to take a look, but it shouldn't be a problem. Which type of visa can hands-on be done? Most students, B1, B2 are, they do it. But again, join the webinar next week. We will talk a lot about visa. Do you offer any rotations for pathology? Yes, pathology rotations are there. If you go to Antara, post that link, residencymatch.usmlesarthi.com, you can filter by specialty. So you can see the specialty specific rotations. Okay, timeline PPT, many of you are asking, and Aditi is reminding me to show it again because she is getting questions. So let me get deeper into timeline and answer your questions. But before I do that, I will want to get a sense of, what type of students we have. So, I'm going to get you this poll. So if you can answer this poll. So number one, which country are you joining us from today? Joining us today from, it helps me understand how many students need visa, time of the webinar, etc. So answer that question so that we can organize other webinars. And then of course, I want to see how many are applying this season versus next, because that also helps us organize the relevant webinars and give you the relevant kind of answers. And then most important, of course, is what challenges do you think you're facing in this journey? A lot of you spoken about visa. What are the other challenges? So maybe I can answer some of that now. Maybe I can answer some of them in the next season. So the more you fill up this poll, the better we'll be able to help you. And that also gives me a break to get a drink of water. As you are filling up the poll, I will also keep answering the questions. How harmful, helpful for applying dual specialty? We've had multiple answers on this, so it can be done. Many of the Sarthi students do it. We do have a special class on it. You can read what we discuss in that class. So Aditi, maybe share the link to the class. But a balance is needed, right? So this is what we teach in our classes: how to apply to multiple specialty, what all things to consider, what LORs to apply where, how do you tweak an FM experience in primary care relevant, make it relevant to IM. So it is possible. I just have to work with you to understand your profile. For clinical experiences, USC, what prerequisites are required? TOEFL step 1 pass, have B1, B2 visa. So it depends on how you do it. No one requires TOEFL, I think. Some programs do require step 1, but Sarthi rotations, we can get a waiver from step 1 also. If you already have a visa, you can work with us. We'll be able to help you get the rotations. Can I split 8-week tele-rotations in 2 parts, like 4 weeks now, 4 weeks, 2 months after? Yeah, absolutely. I think our preceptors are very flexible. So send us an email or talk to us. Contact at usmlesarthi.com or enroll, ENROLL, at usmlesarthi.com. Antara, send them the email that they should write to. So Antara will send you the email. You can write to that email and we'll answer your questions. YOG 2016, did my residency in surgery from India, taking step 2 soon, don't have research or hands-on USCE yet. Can I still apply this year? It's going to be a challenge. You have an old YOG, although you have a home country residency, although it is in surgery. I think if you are going to be applying to IM or any of the primary care specialties, they will need relevant USC, relevant research. We can still get research for you getting started, but avoid applying without USC. It's not going to be easy. You can apply to SOAP, you can apply late maybe, but without USC, without research could be a challenge. How to get more relevant research? So we do have relevant research courses. In fact, Dr. Weissman's C2P course is very relevant. So Antara, you can post a link to that. We have IRR, and some of these research courses are offering a lot of discounts. So Antara can post that. When you say relevant, if you want to be a first author, then we have the collaboration with CIB and P. So Antara can post all of that and you can get in touch with us to understand more if you need help on any of that. Okay, so let me see what what the poll questions said, and we'll look at the results. So I'm gonna view the details probably. Let's see if it gets me the detail. Yes, so a lot of you are dialing in from US, India, Dubai, Pakistan, Colombia, all over the world, UAE, Canada, Nigeria, Jamaica. So I think this time kind of works well. Philippines, Dubai, excellent. Okay. So I wanted to get a sense of where you guys are from. So that's good. a majority is applying this season, September 2025. So about 35% I see, and then the rest are in next year. So if you are applying next year or 27 or are confused, I think take a look at the flexible match plan. So that will be very, very useful to you. We will guide you from now till you match. There will be a price lock, and all the services will still be available to you starting when you join. So Antara, maybe you can post that link. But for those of you joining this year, if you have questions, of course, we'll answer. Now is the third interesting thing. What do you think are the major challenges in this journey? So YOG seems to be the major challenge that most of you have identified. So this is a word cloud. I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I can share my screen. Oh, you can you see the word cloud I just showed, or no? I don't know. But anyway, YOG seems to be a main issue. Visa, obvious reasons. USCE, step 2, gaps. So obviously these are some very, very radiology. I don't know why radiology shows up, but this is important. Yes, we can answer questions on all of this. YOG is a very soft filter. It is a challenge, but it can be overcome, as Dr. Rua Al-Tarifi also mentioned. So YOG attempts, rotations, research. So usual, I just wanted to get a sense. So thank you for sharing this, your challenges. We'll make sure whether in this webinar or in others, we'll answer those questions as well. Ashwin is asking a question. I paid application fee for a different tele-rotations. I haven't gotten a response yet. So Ashwin, Asifa is there. Send your email to her or email us at enroll@USMLE Sarthi. Asifa will get back to you before Monday. Okay. Is attending family medicine conference helpful considering it is being expensive? It depends on which conference. It depends on what you aim to do as part of that. Like I said, conferences are a good networking opportunity. And, we do have a list of all the conferences. We have classes on which conferences you should attend, which you can avoid. It depends, but AAFP is a good one in FM. Okay. I will take other questions as well, but let me share the screen and go over, because I'm getting some questions on timeline. So let me see if we can go on the timeline. Yeah. And by the way, I did want to thank Aditi from our team who runs our match operations. He has put together this timeline. So thank you, Aditi, for that. So again, just to recap, 24th June start. You do not have to apply on September 3rd. September 23rd, I generally say give a buffer. September 23rd, 22nd is all okay. 24th, 9 a.m. is when programs will access. So, token distribution, activate your ERAS account. Then comes the challenge. The personal statement is not something you end up doing in one day. And we have classes, we have step-by-step guidance on personal statement. So Antara, maybe you can tell them how we go about personal statement. We do 3 reviews of personal statement. So something that Mehak mentioned, right? So you will write it, we will have classes, we will explain you step-by-step on how to write it, classes from journalists, classes from our physician panelists, then the journalist will review. You will be assigned a panelist, a physician, who will sit down with you face-to-face on Zoom, right? So it's a face-to-face meeting. They will go over your PS, your CV, and then it goes back to the journalist again. So there are multiple reviews of ERAS, CV, and PS, but even if you don't join us, make sure you spend time. It is not an overnight thing. And ERAS CV, a lot of students have this misconception that this is just filling up a paperwork. Every sentence of ERAS CV matters. what action verbs you use, what you don't repeat, because a lot of students have this habit of saying in every experience, they will say, did history physical, access TMR, so on and so forth. So we have detailed classes, and maybe we'll do a webinar on this also, on what not to do in ERAS CV, because that I think is very, very critical. We've already spoken about letters of recommendation, but this is the time after June that you should start. And as Dr. Al Tarifi said, get very, very specific, personalized letter. And again, if you need help, we help our students in this as well. So submission of ERAS CV, all of that, like I said, you can start September 3rd, but don't rush for it. If you are waiting for your step 3 scores or LORs and all, you can wait. NRMP registration you can do anytime after it opens. Most students do it in October. Okay. Program list, program targeting, very, very important, something which we lay a lot of stress on during our classes. How do you select the program? Even if we give you the list, how do you signal the programs? How do you pick the geographic signal? Because a lot of programs are now beginning to look at, did you signal them? Was it a gold signal? What is a silver signal? Did you pick the right geography? So all of this we can help. I mean, part of it will be in webinars, but a lot of it comes down to discussions and in classes and in our closed Telegram group. So all of this we do cover, right? So then we will talk a lot more about, after you applied, how to network, as Mehak said, how to reach out to the programs, how to prepare for the interviews. Interviews preparation is not after you applying. Interview preparation starts like now. Each of our classes, we encourage students to speak up, to share their videos, to ask questions, to frame the questions in the right manner, to articulate their responses without ums and ahs, without filler words, and so on and so forth. So interview preparation, do not leave it till September, start now, right? And then of course, follow-up communication and all. ECFMG certification, very, very important for those of you applying this season. And thank you, Aditi, for pointing it out. ECFMG certification is absolutely critical. A lot of you, in fact, majority of you should be ECFMG certified before you apply. Unless you have a 260 in CK and you're waiting, most of you should have ECFMG certification at the time of applying. The process is here, but you can work with your school to get the ECFMG certification steps, all including the good standing certificate. But step 1, CK score, OET, pathway approval. Pathway approval will start in June for this season. ECFMG pathways have stayed same for the last, I would say, post-COVID 3 to 4 years. So you pretty much will know what it is, but we'll cover it in one of the webinars. Okay, so ECFMG certification, very, very important. And then, like I said, rank order list and also that is for later. We will certainly talk about it. Nothing urgent on this. Okay. All right. What other questions can I answer? I know we were waiting for another speaker, but probably they are not joining us. But I'll take this time to answer questions. If you have, just post them in and we'll go with that. I have a gap of 3 years. How can Sarthi help with that? So of course, a lot of our students have gaps, 3 years, 5 years. So we'll sit down with you, assess your profile, tell you what kind of work experience, what kind of rotations, what kind of research, and more importantly, what kind of networking will help you depending on your score. Gaps are unfortunate. They are part of many of our journeys, but they can be overcome. What programs want to know is, are you ready now? Yes, you had gaps in the past, but how committed are you to the journey now? What conferences are helpful for IM? IM has a lot of subspecialties. So HEMONC, for example, has ASH, has ASCO. There's GI conferences. There's pulmonary critical care. There is, chest. There are so many conferences. We do cover them in our class, but if you can Google if you want. The entire list depends on the specialty you are targeting or where your research is. Can you share the link of different plans, platinum, and their detailed description? So Antara shared them the separate page for platinum, gold, bronze, and the flexible match plan. Interview questions, yes, we can share. There is a complete blog on our website, which maybe Sejal, you can share. I don't remember where the blog is, but again, interview questions per se are not important. You can Google it anywhere, but we will share that list of questions. Important interview questions. A, it's too early, but B, it is the answers that matter. How do you customize the answers? That is more important. But yes, we do have a complete list of 80 to 90 questions. I just don't have it handy. But Sejal is our Alexa. She knows a lot of stuff. She knows everything actually. So maybe Sejal, if you're there, share that list. CAS application timelines. Again, I think the time, so CAS application, I guess you are applying for OBGYN or emergency medicine this year. There are different platforms. So ERAS does not apply to OBGYN. And I think emergency medicine also, they were thinking of moving away. I think the timeline is similar, but give me a week. In the next webinar, we can talk about it. I haven't looked at it yet. Do you still offer PD rotations with Dr. Atoot? Yes, actually, we have a lot of PD rotations. Antara, can you post Dr. Weissman and Atoot's on-site and tele-rotation? That is one. We do have rotations with Dr. Stewart. In family medicine, we do have a rotation with Dr. Akondi. He is the program director in Nevada. So that's there. And of course, former program directors are there as well. So Antara can post that link. How many research publications on an average are needed to match to IM? So I did a webinar, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, where we showed the NRMP data. Number one, quality is more important than quantity. In IM, I would say 3 to 4 good publications in high impact journals should be good enough. I don't remember the exact number, but if you go to the webinar from last week, I think I've shared the NRMP data in that. Would IM clinical rotations after September still benefit applicants? So rotations do benefit you after September. Obviously, you cannot use the LOR, but programs will ask you, what are you doing currently? So it depends on what you end up doing, where you end up doing, but absolutely can help depending on your profile. Okay, so Sejal is saying the list of interview questions will be shared with everyone who's joined the webinar in an email. So thank you, Sejal. So there's a link on our website. I just didn't think that you'll ask about interviews so early in the season, but I like the proactiveness. So thank you for whosoever asked. Do you have hands-on rotations in radiation oncology? I have more than 300. I don't remember, but go to the link. Antara posts the link, residencymatch.usmlesarthi.com. You can filter by specialty. So we keep changing the rotations, as in when we get more. I don't remember the latest. Do you offer sub-internships? Yes, any of our rotations can be tweaked to get sub-internship. You just have to tell us which one. Okay, so Sejal finally pulled out the common interview questions blog. I told you she knows everything. She knows exactly what is where on our website. Even I forget sometimes. So thank you, Sejal. Okay, all rotations. So I think I've answered all questions. And if there are still questions, I will be happy to answer. But thank you all for joining. I mean, we do the webinars on a weekly basis. Again, next week will be a webinar on visa, whether you are applying in this September 25, September 26. I think we all know that visa issues are important. We'll have experts who will talk to you about all kinds of visa, B1, B2, J1 research, J1 clinical, if you match, how to, navigate visa interviews, how to, when you are doing rotations, what type of letters to get, all of that. So keep an eye out. I think you will see on our Telegram group. In Instagram, you will see that. And that reminds me, Antara, if you can post a link to our Telegram group, open Telegram, our Instagram and YouTube, so that students who are not following us can follow us. So that way you will have, the latest information on when we are going for the next webinar. I think it is next Sunday, so you can register. Again, a lot of useful information on our channels on our website. So read about it. If you have more questions on how the platinum helps, how the mentor helps on a customized plan, how we do strategy sessions, how do we do one-on-one mentorship in any of the plans, right? That's something you can read up. Flexible match plan for those of you who are applying in the next season. So with that, I think I covered everything. Thank you all for taking time on a Saturday. Thank you to my team, Sejal, Aditi, Antara, Asifa. Thank you to all the speakers who, by the way, are gone. Now they are very busy, but appreciate Dr. Stewart, Dr. Rua, Mehakpreet, Aisha, very, very useful tips. And, we'll be back soon. I will keep the webinar chat open so that you can grab a link. And like I said, wait for next week. We will talk about visa regardless of the season you are joining in. Sejal is there, Aditi, Antara. You can get in touch with any of them. And Asifa, if you're waiting on any of the rotation or research questions, Asifa, if you can post your, the email enroll@usmlesarthi.com, email it to that, and Asifa will take care of your issues. So thank you all, and I'll see you next week.
Thank you so much for watching. We hope that video provided valuable insights for your journey. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And check out our website for details on how we can guide you to a successful match.